This Cyberpunk side quest shines a light on something that most people never want to face. And that's how a man can run from his past for years only to turn around and run straight into it. In Night City, redemption is a luxury, forgiveness is a myth, and faith, that's just another currency that people try to buy peace with. But maybe that's true in our world too. This is Joshua Stevenson. He wasn't born a monster. He was just a lost kid looking for purpose. And unfortunately, he found the wrong kind. So Joshua and his two friends, they decided to rob a man in a back alley. Yeah, it was a stupid and reckless plan that was born from desperation, not malice. But everything went wrong. Fast. The man fought back. Adrenaline exploded. And Joshua, he panicked. He stabbed him again and again until the struggle stopped. And before Joshua could even understand what he'd done, the sirens were already closing in on him. His friends ran instantly, scattering into the night. And Joshua, he froze. The police were on him before he could even breathe. You know, it's funny how that works. How the people the loudest in the moment are always the first to vanish when things turn real. And that one moment became the shadow he could never outrun. So Joshua was sentenced and taken to prison, not just behind bars, but into the echo chambers of his own mind. See, prison didn't just cage his guilt, it magnified it. Every single night, every quiet hour, every cold morning, the weight of that man's death pressed on him until it became the only thing he could feel. Joshua didn't want freedom, he wanted punishment. He wanted his pain to mean something that hurt enough to feel like justice. But Joshua didn't walk out of prison because he earned forgiveness. He walked out because someone with power decided his suffering was worth something. This is Rachel, and she didn't find Joshua. She acquired him. She was a reporter for a sensationalist true crime series. You know, the kind of media shark that turns pain into profit. She worked the back channels, the way only corpos can, with legal pressure, money in the right pockets, doors opening quietly. Man, Joshua never stood a chance. She listened to him talk about wanting punishment, but really, she saw opportunity. She didn't offer him redemption, she offered him a crucifixion, packaged, filmed, and copyrighted. She put a contract in front of him, basically giving her company the rights to film his execution, sell the broadcast, and even distribute the braindance recordings of his last breath. His death wasn't mercy, it was merchandise. She didn't care about God, she cared about ratings and turning a broken man's pain into a spectacle. And maybe that sounds like a Night City thing, but just look around. In our world, a broken person isn't someone to help. They're someone to use, someone to profit from, a story, a headline, a product. Some people don't see you as human. They just see you as content. And the family he shattered, they were torn apart in their own ways. Agnes is the victim's mom, and she wanted vengeance. To her, Joshua's crucifixion wasn't justice. It was a mockery of her son's memory. But Gloria, the victim's sister, she forgave him. She saw a man drowning in guilt, someone who didn't want salvation. He just wanted to pay what he owed. Two people bound by the same loss, breaking in opposite directions. The dichotomies of life. Joshua wasn't looking for fame or forgiveness. He was looking for a cross because he believed pain was the only language God might accept from him. He thought dying was the only way to make peace with the life that he stole. But he didn't have to do any of this. His mind was twisted by guilt, by the belief that suffering equals salvation. And the truth is, most people don't understand that kind of guilt. We may not carry Joshua's guilt, but we all carry something: a mistake, a regret, a moment we wish we'd handled differently. But deep down, you don't feel like you deserve forgiveness. 'Cause see, forgiveness doesn't erase pain, and justice doesn't heal grief. And Joshua learned that too late. People call it redemption, but I call it math. Every lie Rachel told, every tear Agnes shed, every fear that Joshua carried, it all added up to a ledger that no one could pay. And when the numbers finally settled, there wasn't a single person left who walked away whole. And maybe you've seen a smaller version of that math play out. Maybe a moment where someone with power pulled the strings, not because it was right, but because they could. Or a moment where pain became entertainment, where someone's lowest point became someone else's opportunity. Our world may not broadcast crucifixions, but we've all seen people turned into spectacles for clicks, profit, or attention. You see, pain sells, truth gets edited, and people get used. Rachel didn't invent exploitation, she just perfected it. And even when Joshua learned the truth, he didn't run. He believed that if someone, anyone, felt something from his suffering, maybe God would see that as a sign that he tried to make things right. But suffering doesn't buy salvation. Not in Night City, and not in our world either. Joshua didn't need a cross. He needed healing, something no one around him cared to offer. So he walked toward the nails, believing he deserved them, while the people around him, they were counting the profits. Joshua Stevenson wasn't a saint. He wasn't a monster either. He was a man who did something terrible and never stopped paying for it. And maybe that's why this story hits so hard, because we all have something in our past that we wish we could rewrite. Something we didn't mean to break, but broke anyway. I've had a moment like that, where I hurt someone I cared about, and even after apologizing, I didn't feel like I deserved forgiveness. But here's the truth that Joshua never understood. You can't crucify your way into redemption. Pain doesn't purify a soul. It only deepens the wounds that's already there. You know, sometimes salvation isn't found in suffering, but in facing yourself and choosing to live better than the mistake you made. So let me ask you something. If someone hurt you the way Joshua hurt that family, and they were truly broken by the guilt, would you want them to die for it? Or would you want them to live long enough to become someone better? If I'm being honest, if someone hurt my family the way Joshua hurt his victim, I want them dead for it. That's just my truth. Some pain is too deep for forgiveness. But drop your answer below. No judgment here. Just trying to make sense of a world that doesn't always know what justice really means. And stay tuned next week for another Ghost in Night City.